Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. I am Nicole Everett, the host of Conversations with Nicole, a talk show based here in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. It is September 2nd, and today we are talking about the Leon County CARES program. This is a COVID relief program, and today we're specifically talking about the individual assistance that the county will be providing or is providing to folks who have experienced an income loss due to COVID 19. So I have a guest who is with the county, Mr. Shington Lamy, the director of the Office of Human Services and Community Partnerships. So, welcome, Shington.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nicole, and thank you for everyone for joining us this
Yeah.
afternoon.
My pleasure,
Today.
my pleasure. So this is an interactive experience, and we welcome folks' comments and questions. So I know you're going to give a lot of great information about the project or the program rather. But before we dive into the program, in my conversations with Nicole style, we got to find out a little bit about you. So
Okay. Okay.
tell the folks, Shinkton, where you're from, what you do, who you are.
Okay. Shington Lamy, of course. And as Nicole mentioned, I'm the director here at Leon County's Office of Human Services and Community Partnerships. Been with the county now, going on almost 15 years in November. Wow, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Originally from Miami, born and raised in Miami.
305.
Yes, from the 305. The My parents migrated from Haiti, and uh, I was born back in '81, and then shortly after me came a couple of sisters and a brother. So
Okay.
four-person household. Graduated from Miami Central.
All right. Go Rockets.
That's right, go Rockets, and then matriculated up here to go to Florida State. Um,
Go Noles.
Oh no, that's right. Also, and got my bachelor's in child development and political science. So two things. So I think I'm in the right place when it comes to human services, especially with the county, with those two degrees. Shortly after that, I actually went and got my master's at Florida State. Um, and when I was getting my master's, and that was when I was actually working on my master's in public administration. That is, still didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I took a class with this fella. His name was Vince Long.
Mm-hmm.
About to be the county administrator now, and he the way he taught that class, man, that's really when I realized that local government is where I wanted to kind of come and be a part of, mainly because of the fact that you could see how much impact you can uh, directly have when you're helping formulate policy ideas and implementing those policies. At the state level, a lot of times it takes a while to kind of trickle down, but when it comes to the local side, man, it's like as soon as an agenda item hits on a Tuesday night, you're implementing something on Wednesday, and you're
Mm-hmm.
seeing the impact of it immediately. And so that's something I love about local government, and that's how I ended up there. And took that class. Vince brought me on as an intern
Mm-hmm.
later that year, so this was in '05, and been with the county ever since.
Awesome.
Loved it as I've 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 kind of gone up and been promoted a few times. Learned a lot, continuing to learn a lot, and that's another great thing about it because as an organization, we're constantly in the process of learning and changing and doing better. That's something we are committed in doing with our culture here.
Awesome.
And so and then of course most the thing I'm most proud of course is um, a father of two, husband to Brandy Lamy,
Yeah.
father to LJ or Shington, but we just call him LJ, and Logan Lamy. So
Okay.
a little,
Nice.
little bit about myself.
Nice. 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 So tell me, how long have you been the director over at Human Services?
So it'll be 4 years in a few months. Yeah,
Okay.
about 4 years.
Okay. Nice.
Um,
So for the folks that aren't familiar with the department, Well, the Office of Human Services and Community Partnerships. Tell the folks what you do in terms of what that office covers.
So our department, I have to say, we're our goal every day is to help people, especially in times of um, when they are in some of the dire situations in
Mm-hmm.
their lives. And so um, we have like three divisions within my department. I have our housing division,
Mm-hmm.
where we assist people primarily in an unincorporated area who needs assistance with their housing. Either it may need to be rehabbed, or they may have some type of emergency repairs that need to be done,
Mm-hmm.
be it for their roofs, for their septic tanks.
Right.
But we also look beyond that because our primary goal is increasing the stock of affordable housing in our community, because that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge um, issue in our community. As we get even into this conversation about the individual assistance program, it's all about housing, right? I mean, at the end
Right.
of the day, that it's about housing. And
Mm-hmm.
so through that program, we really try to focus on and on building that stock of affordable housing. So, and we do that a lot through partnerships, be it with Tallahassee Lenders Consortium, where we do our down payment assistance program, as well as we're launching our community land trust, as well, and also through programs that do we do with our housing finance authority and our work that we do in partnership with the city.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then also we have our health and human services
Okay.
programs. Primarily in human services is the CHSP program that we have, which is
Mm-hmm.
Community Human Services Partnership, is the primary way in which we fund human services here in our community jointly with the city. Um, Been going on well over 20 years now. Very
Mm-hmm.
successful program that really gives us a chance to really get citizens involved in the deliberation process of in determining how we fund human services here in our community.
Yeah. So I
Um,
guess that's why Amber is saying we love Shington.
well, love Amber too, and all our friends at UPHS. And the other, and then on the health side, of course, we work with a lot of our partners in trying to address another area, of course, which is uninsured and underserved individuals with their with insurance who don't have insurance, right? Or especially our low income in our community. And so we work very closely with our local federally qualified health centers, FQHCs like Bond and Neighborhood, and
Right.
partners like We Care, to ensure that those individuals in our community that don't have the means, that don't have those resources, that they still have access to quality health care, because that's critical. That's another important component. And when you think about human services and quality of life. And then another thing, so the third division is our veteran services. So we're committed here in Leon County, especially here at HSEP, in
Mm-hmm.
ensuring that all of our veterans, those who have served in our U.S. military, receive all of the benefits that they have that is deserving of them. I mean, because they have fought and protected our country. And so we work hard to ensure that they get all the benefits that they can get either at the federal level, state level, and even here locally. I mean, it's been really great to work with all the folks over in some of our veteran service organizations and developing even stuff locally here in our community to honor our veterans, be it from our Operation Thank You event, Honor Flight, and several of other events and programs that we have to honor our veterans. So
Okay.
that in a nutshell is our department, of course. And then we've got individual assistants that we're working with through Leon County Cares right now.
All right. So let's dive in. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Mhm.
So, for folks, and we'll get your information out at the end, but for folks that did not know, I wanted them to, be aware that you all cover a lot at the Leon County Human Services and Community Partnerships Office. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. So, individual assistance.
Yep.
Right now, Leon Cares is providing individual assistance for past due rents, mortgages, and utility bills. All right.
Yes,
So,
we are.
so tell folks give them the skinny on it.
Okay, so back in July, the county commission adopted our Leon Cares plan, and so um, we were notified prior to that, of course, that Leon County would receive about $51.2 million in CARES funding. These were, of course, dollars that was passed by Congress back in March in response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, the board approved the plan that we brought as staff, and that plan, of course, included assistance was for our small businesses, our human service grant partners, assistance for child care, as well as to address food insecurity. All areas, of course, that have seen increase of need due to the pandemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, another important one was individual assistance for those who have been impacted by COVID-19 because they've seen a loss of income.
Right.
And we know there's a lot of people in our community that's faced that, especially when March and April, you saw a lot of shutdowns with our universities as well as our hotels and our other partners or other resources and organizations here in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so what we did was we did take a look at what other communities were doing, and the individual assistance program was very consistent because what you saw was a lot of communities were looking to assist residents that experience a loss of income with their housing costs, assist them that way. And so the individual assistance program here locally provides Leon County residents who are eligible um, up to $3,000
Mm-hmm.
to assist them with their past due rent, mortgage, and utilities, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Those dollars actually go directly to the landlord or to the utility company.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that is because what we want to do, of course, is ensure that those individuals do not see a disruption in like utility services as well as face any form of homelessness because now they have to be kicked out or just the stress because I know we have moratorium in place, but just the stress of knowing that you're behind and you don't know um, you know eh, you don't know when the next funds are going or revenue you're going to get
Right.
is going to come along, that it makes so much more sense that we be able to provide that resource and those financial assistance to individuals so that way they can get that peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so um, so far for this program, so we launched it a couple of weeks ago now. It was on August 17th when we did.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, we've gotten nearly 2,500 applications that have been submitted.
Okay.
And it's at first come, first serve. So we're still looking for more people to apply because we have a whole lot more people that we can help and we can assist. And people, of course, can apply by going to www.leoncountycares.com,
Okay.
and there they can complete an online application. Um, and if they need assistance with doing that, though, we do have resources that are available. They can contact our office here at 606 1900 or come in, or we can assist them in completing the application. We have
Mm-hmm.
navigator partners also. We're working closely with the Tallahassee Urban League, who's a
Mm-hmm.
partner, ECHO, the Greater Frenchtown Revitalization Council, as well as they can go to our libraries. Our libraries is somewhere else that they can go and get assistance with completing their applications.
Okay. So we got a question on the floor.
Okay.
Miss Honey wants to know after you apply, how long does it take?
So, like I mentioned before, we've had nearly 2,500 applications, but we're painstakingly going through each and every one because we want to make sure we get the information. Um, we get people qualified as soon as possible. So, what we're doing now is as long as someone kind of goes through the process like pretty clean as far as they've submitted all the documentation that's required, and there's really no follow-up required, automatically when someone applies, when they hit submit, they get an email
Okay.
in their email that says, "Hey, thank you for applying," and that we'll get back to them very shortly. Because the process, there is a two-phase process. There's a process of us determining your eligibility to make sure you are eligible and you meet the criteria, and
Mm-hmm.
secondly, to ensure that um, when if we assist you, that it meets the $3,000 threshold. So that's the second phase of it. But email automatically comes to them, and then that tells them that when we're in receipt of their application, and then we work very quickly after that to start doing the outreach should we need any additional information, or if we just want to let them know, hey, you've been deemed qualified for the program, and now we need you to go into the next step.
So let's talk eligibility. What are the
Okay.
eligibility requirements?
So eligibility here is that you have to be a full-time Leon County resident over the past 12 months. You have to be 18 years or older. You had to have lost income between March 1 or December 30th. And of course, that's because that is the date that's set in the CARES Act that states when the pandemic hit our country and our community.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the applicant themselves doesn't have to be the person per se who experienced that loss, but it would have to just to be someone in their household. And that person who experienced that loss of income had to work an average of at least like 30 hours per week before being laid off
Okay.
or experiencing that loss of work or reduced income due to COVID-19. And then finally, the household for that individual who's applying must be 80% or below of the area median income, and that's based on household size. So, for example, for a family of four, that means that they could not make more than like $58,150.
Okay.
Um, so that's the eligibility process. But when it comes to application process, we try to make it as simple as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly. So, for example, if someone were to apply, really what the things that we would need to kind of determine eligibility is one, their ID, the applicant's ID.
Okay.
Um, then
Photo
their photo ID. That's right. Florida, yeah, it has to be a state of Florida ID, a driver's license,
ID. Okay.
passport, something like that,
Okay.
government issued. Then, secondly, their 2019 income tax
Okay.
return information, because and in that information we can capture a few things. We can capture their household income as well as their household size, because they'll have the names of the individuals who live in the household.
Okay.
And then and then the last thing we would need, of
But
course,
what
is that
what if they
proof.
didn't file for their tax return yet?
Oh, yeah, I'll get to that piece. So
Okay.
if they haven't though, what we then need is the income over the last 60 days. So
Okay.
application. So if you apply today, September 2nd, what I need you to upload then is income over the last 60 days.
Okay.
Um, and that's okay. Then if you don't have access to 2019 tax return, then we will take that information. But also we'll also assist you in showing you how you can get your 2019 tax return if you did file it and you just don't have it on hand too.
Okay. Cool.
So there is a way we can do that. We've been learning a lot of things through this process,
I
and doing
bet
a lot of
you have.
diving deep on the IRS website and things like that. So yeah, a lot of things being learned.
Okay.
And so we can, but we will take information beyond that for those past 60 days to show, okay, this is what the person has made. Now, if it is that the person has made nothing because they've been out of work, well, that's fine too.
Okay.
Income is zero is all right, because that just shows how much the need is dire. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So just to be clear for
Mhm.
the viewers, some of the um, acceptable documentation would
Mhm.
be, like you said, paycheck stubs,
Yeah.
unemployment benefits, Social
Mhm.
Security benefits,
Yep.
child support,
Yep.
self-employment income, so like a P&L, a profit and loss statement.
Mhm.
So just so you'll know, kind of what we are talking about.
Yeah.
So there's questions about this. What if you don't have any income the last 60 days? So you'll just notify you all that I don't have
Yep.
anything, right?
That's zero. Yep. And
Okay.
that at that point is zero. But we still need, as we're going through this process, is just the information about your household. Like, okay, if you don't do the tax return, we still need then at that point from that household, everyone's all adults, I should say. When I say everyone, adults, IDs, as well as for the children, their birth certificate information. So that way we can kind of get that information. I know it's still going to come out zero, but just for consistency basis, that's the information that we
Got
need. And then those are just income stuff. But then, like I said before, the most important thing, of course, or one of the most important things, is that proof of loss of income.
Okay.
That's critical. And we've been working over the last few days now, reaching out to a lot of people who did complete applications, but typically we're what we call in the follow-up stages, where the issue is that's one of the sticking things that they did not submit. So then we gotta reach back out to them. And we've been reaching people out either through email,
Mhm.
phone calls, text messages. I know a lot of people got text messages as of this past Monday because we really, really, really want to get these applications through so that way we can start spending this money so that way we can get
Right.
people the assistance that they need.
Okay. So we got another question.
Mhm.
Someone wants to know, can a single person apply with a business loss? So,
Well, yeah, because that's they lost income, right? If
mm,
if they're a business person and their business lost money, so they lost money. That's fine.
okay.
There's information that they need to submit as part of being self-employed, if that's what they're reporting. Um, with it, like you were mentioning before, their profit and loss information, so that way we kind of get a sense of what the losses look like. Or they may have been even um, right before I jumped on uh, this call with you, or this conference call with you, Nicole. There was I got a call from from an individual, and what they've seen is a loss of income because they're a small business, or they're a yeah, they're a small business, a one person business, and they got unemployment, and so that proof is enough to show that they've seen a loss because
Okay.
EO have said, hey, we're going to provide you funding because you've seen loss of income due to COVID-19 as a small business person.
Right. So unemployment benefits letter, a
Mhm.
layoff letter from the company,
Yes.
a verification of employment, a loss of income form. Those
Hmm.
are all acceptable forms of their proof of loss of income.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. Just wanted to make sure we were good. Okay, good deal. So those are the eligibility requirements. Now, this is a grant.
Yes.
Grant meaning free money. Grant
Yes.
meaning you don't have to pay it back,
Correct.
right? And
Right.
and how much are you all giving?
Up to $3,000. And so that's where phase two comes into the process. So once someone has been determined eligible, then what we do is we send them an email saying, hey, you've been determined eligible. Now, what we need you to do on the second phase is we need you to go get information from either your landlord or your utility company to verify the amount that you owe. Because what we want to be able to do is see and ensure that it's no more than the $3,000 amount. Because,
Mhm.
and then what we're doing is with that form is we're getting the landlord or the utility company to agree that if we make payment, county or city, that you will ensure that that individual for the next 30 days will not see an eviction or see a disruption in their power, um, as long as we make the payment. And then we as the county will send them a promise to pay once we get that information and everything is fine. But the most critical component also is that, especially when it comes to the landlords, is that there's a verification form that they'll have to complete saying, yes, this person lives here and this is how much they owe, their
Mhm.
current past due balance. And then the other thing they'll need to complete is what we call is our W-9 form. Because like I said before, we give funds directly to the landlord as well as to utility companies and to the mortgage companies.
Okay.
And in order for us to do that, though, we have to have a W-9 on file per our laws. I mean, that's just for us as a subdivision of the state and
Right.
government. We have to have that on file, and before we can make the payment, so we can know at the end of the year who to send basically the W-2 to, right? So to show that we made that payment, and so that also has to be completed by the landlord. We
Okay.
don't need it for utility companies because we only have two utility companies here in town, which is the city of Tallahassee and Talquin, and we already have their information on file.
Mhm.
So when it comes to the landlords, they can do one or two things. One, they have to give the verification form back to their tenant or the applicant. They have that definitely has to they have to give back. The
Okay.
second form, the W-9 form, they can they can either give it back to the tenant or the
Mhm.
applicant,
Mhm.
so that way the applicant can take it and submit it all back to us, so that way we can review and send a final parade. You've been qualified,
Mhm.
or we have a way in which they can actually upload that document to us,
Okay.
and it's at www.leoncounty f I'm sorry, www.leoncountycares.com / upload W-9. I've
Okay.
got that look on my face because I got to confirm that is the correct one.
Okay, that's fine.
Realize that.
I'm gonna just give them the blanket
Yeah,
website
yeah,
and they can navigate from there.
yeah. I'll find that information just to make sure. But that's how they can. But then what happens is when they do that, because I know we've heard from a few landlords
Mm-hmm.
who said that they've been concerned about providing that information to the tenant because sometimes, a lot of times, they may not want to share the FEIN. Some of them have social security numbers, and I totally understand that they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to share that information. So instead of them providing that information to the tenant, they can just upload it to us, and we
Okay.
need to upload it because we can't get an email to us because that
Hmm.
also becomes an issue of security. But for
Right.
security purposes, we have created um, this a website in
Mhm.
response to their concerns, so
Okay.
that way they can upload that document.
Gotcha. So I got a question.
Mhm.
Can the funds be split between utility and rent or mortgage, or does it have to be either or?
No, it can be split.
Okay.
Just at the end, the combination can't be more than 3,000,
Mm-hmm.
and so as the applicant has to make sure that they're aware, of course, um, has a sense of awareness about what they believe their landlord, and if they're also looking for utilities, is
Hmm.
going to put on that form.
Okay.
Um, or work out a deal, because one of the things we want to also is that if they can say, hey, um, landlord, I know I owe you 4,000, but I know there's a way can I work out a payment plan for 2,000 of that?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So then in that case, then really then the balance can be due for on the landlord side will be 2,000 because they've worked out a payment plan for um for the remainder. And
Hmm.
then if they owe the utility company 1,000, then they could put a 1,000 there
Okay. That's good
on
to
the
know.
other form, and then in total it will be $3,000.
That's good to know that they can split up the payments
Yes.
between the two.
Yep.
Good to go. All right. So is there anything else that you would have us know about the program?
Well, this is a little outside the program, but one of the things we want to be clear though, that also that I know one of the things that we've been seeing is a lot of people may have not been impacted by COVID-19, but they're still looking for assistance, right? They still need assistance with their rent or their utilities
Mm-hmm.
because of other things that's gone on in
Mm-hmm.
their life beyond the pandemic. And what we do want to do is encourage folks to reach out to 211 Big Ben at 211 because they're a partner that we've been working on with very closely with to hold Zoom calls with our resources here in our community. That includes Capital Area Community Action, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, um, Echo, who all have resources also um, for to assist people with rent and utilities. That's not um, geared specifically to cares. They do have resources available. We work closely with 211 to kind of make them aware of where we're at as far as our resources. So that way, when people call them, they can triage that call and direct them to the best partner here in our community that can assist them with their need if it's beyond COVID-19, of course.
Okay, good. So Amber asks, will the portal close or will it remain open until the funds are expended?
Right now, our total focus is to keep it open because we want to spend this $7.5 million.
Mm.
We were given a deadline that we have to exhaust these dollars by December 30th.
Okay.
We are totally focused right now on getting the word out through um, media outlets like yourself, Nicole,
Right.
through billboards, through ads, everywhere that we can, so that way people are aware of the program and provide them the assistance that they need in order to apply. So that's our total focus right now, and that's why people are getting their text messages blown up, and hopefully they have unlimited text because there's more to come.
Absolutely, absolutely. So please like this post, share this show, get the word out, let people know that these funds are available. It is a grant of up to $3,000 for folks that have individually been impacted by COVID. They can use it for rent, utilities, or mortgage payments that are past due. They can do a combination of utility and either rent or mortgage, So, there's an income guideline based on the number of people in the household. The example that Shington gave was for a family of four, a household of four, and that income limit being $58,150. So you can go to the website leoncountycares.com to get information. You can also uh, contact some of the partner entities, the Urban League, Echo, all of the libraries in town. You can go to Shington's office or reach
Yep.
out to Shington's office to get assistance with applying. So there are a number of ways that you can, receive help as relates to this. All right. So anything you like to, any last or final comments that you wish to share, Shington?
Well, please apply. That's the biggest thing. One of the things that I'm most proud of about our department, especially, is the name that we have at the very end, which is partnerships. It's a long name, but I think that's the most important piece of our name because we can't do anything um, uh, in serving our community without our partners, and that includes other partners that are serving as navigators, like Capital Area. Community Action and 211 Big Band, as well as Tallahassee Urban League. Um, they're so critical to everything that we do. They have the boots on the ground, and working with us to help people. I mean, that's our focus. We want to help people, especially in times like these and during a pandemic. And so it's because of these partners that we can be successful. So I'll take a moment just to thank them, and looking forward to always work with them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have several people kind of chiming in. I think they missed our the original broadcast, so you all have to catch the replay. I see you, Deidre. You said, "Can you get assistance?" Yes.
Hmm.
You know, Janae says who all can apply for it. So we've already covered that, but check us out on the replay. Because we've already talked about the individuals, like what the eligibility criteria is. But you can also reach out to any one of those organizations, the Tallahassee Urban League, ECHO, the Greater Frenchtown Area Revitalization Council, Shington's office, the Office of Human Services and Community Partnerships with Leon County, as well as every single library in Leon County can assist
Yes.
you with making that application. So we're not going to belabor the time. So I thank you, Shington,
Thank
for
you.
being our guest, sharing a little bit about you, and as well as talking to us about this wonderful program that the county is offering. So Leon County Cares.com. Let me pull
That's
it
right.
back up. Hold on. Let me make sure I got it. I had it.
And that's where you get all the information,
You can get all the information right
how
there.
you can apply, how to apply. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you, Shington, and
Thank
we
you.
will see you another time.
All right. See
All
you.
right.